He wound up with 7 for the game. Who knew? We actually did a pretty good job on him and them after that opening drive to start the second half. We actually tied Arizona in the second half 10-10. We wound up getting to Jacoby Brissett. We wound up with 5 sacks. I never thought I'd see the night or the day when we had 5 sacks and 11 quarterback hits. I'm like, there's life, there's hope. There's a reason to go on. Like, there's life, there's a reason to go on.
Hello and welcome to another Who You Got Live. I'm Sun-EB7. Thank you for joining. If you think, if you go back and look at my last video, I said I won't be on tomorrow, whatever, because I got some other stuff to do. But if you think after this game, I was not going to make another video, you did wrong. I didn't think so either. I was dead wrong too. I wasn't going to do it. But after watching Skip Bayless, I had to make a video. So here's the thing. And Skip, that's my man. He's cool. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time. He knows what he's talking about, and all that. I'm about to do a Stephen A. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to give him all the credit before I trashed him. So here's the thing. Watching Skip Bayless. Now, I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan since I was 5 years old. I was a Ram fan because that was the first helmet I got in Little League football. I couldn't wear the helmets they had. I was young. The helmets they had left, I couldn't fit any of them. So they said, well, if you don't have a helmet, you don't get to play. So I went and found a helmet, and I went to the store, got a helmet, told my mom, this is what I need, and we got a helmet. And it was a Rams helmet. It was the only one. They had 2 helmets left, the Rams and the Patriots. So I had her buy both of them. They were like, what, $10? They wasn't that cheap, but they were cheap. So, I got them helmets. So when I played for a team that wore white, I wore the Patriot helmet. When I played for a team that wore blue or dark, I wore the Rams helmet, right? So I became a Rams fan. As a sidebar. Now, what really solidified it is when the Rams moved to St. Louis. When the Rams moved to St. Louis and became the greatest show on turf, and even before that, when they got to St. Louis, of course, they had Phillips. They had, what's his name, the bus. They had them. They were doing okay, but when that trade was made from Indianapolis and we got Marshall Faulk, I knew that was the trade of the century because, well, I won't get into what happened there, and it should have never happened, but they thought they got the same thing when they got Edgar and James. They both only got 1 championship, but one of them went to more. They just didn't get but one. The other one went to obscurity after the one. But I digress. Anyway, so being a Dallas Cowboy fan for that long, you know about the Dallas Cowboy mystique. You know about the years that they were up and the years they were down. So it's like having an out-of-body experience. I'm now looking at these Cowboy fans from a different... So I've never been a real fan. I feel like when you play and when you feel you're good and you feel like you could have played, you don't see sports the same way as a fan. A fan is a fan because they see you as... You're on a pedestal. They see you as something out of this world. I don't. You put your fans' legs on the same way as I do. If we go out on the court or on the field and we just play pickup ball, you ain't going to look no better than me. The difference is when you're dealing with the bureaucracy and all the things that come with the NFL game and the fans, 50, 60, 70,000 fans, then that's where the separation happens. But actually, the person is the person. It's not. So anyway, I just said that to say, um, my years of being a Cowboy fan, I don't even like to say Cowboy fan because I never felt I was a fan. Fan means fanatic. It's short for fanatic. I'm not a fanatic of nothing like that. I'm a fanatic of me. So, anyway, but that was my team, right? So I know the Cowboys from the beginning to the end. I'm not, I even researched them before my time to know who they were. And, there was something to having or to being a part of that whole Cowboy mystique, that star, that whole Showtime thing. Hollywood Henderson, Tony Dorsett, Golden Richards, Billy White Shoes. Not Billy White Shoes. Golden Richards and Hill. Drew Pearson and Tony Hill. What's his name that jumped over everybody? I can name players for days, right? I can name them all. So I understand what it's like to watch the Cowboys on the weekends. You know you're going to see them and all that. So you have that in your system. But when you're level-headed, when you're even keeled and you like a team, as long as they're producing what you see as a good product, but the day come they don't, you start to separate. Now, some people say, you're a fair weather fan. No, I'm not a fair weather fan. I'm not a fan at all. I watch sports and I look for excellence. I don't watch sports to become them. I don't have all the gear I got is teams that I wasn't even the fan of. That just go to show you, I don't own no Cowboy gear. I don't own no Rams gear. That means I watch the sport. And here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people who do well and they do it often. Because it ain't nothing for me to become a fan of another team. If they're doing some good stuff, because I'm a fan of perfection. I'm a fan of greatness. I'm not a fan of no damn star or Patriot on the helmet or none of that crap. I ain't like that. So I'm having an out-of-body experience, kind of, because I've been around the Cowboys for years. And now I'm looking at Cowboy fans and seeing that they got the same thing as, like, I don't know, someone with an addiction. Watching Skip, you have got to, if you are into Skip and you're just watching him as a fan, you won't see it. But if you watch him as just neutral, you'll realize that he can't process what he's seeing. He still sees them as the Cowboys. He's not seeing them as a money entity. He's not seeing them as a idea. He's not seeing them for what they are now. He's dealing with the mystique he remembers way back. So you're sitting here looking at him, and he's sitting here spending 16 minutes talking on his show, and the link is in the description, on his show talking about, and then they threw a pass, and then they, in the second down and the third down, they should have gotten the first down, but you're like, dude, they lost the game. And don't talk about like it was close. Our defense played really good. The defense did get a touchdown. When the defense got the touchdown, it was 27-7. That made it 27-10. That made it 27-17. You've been getting your butt kicked up and down the field for 4 quarters. The defense only made it respectable. There might be some bookies out there that's going, damn, the defense messed me up. But other than that defense you're trying to defend, you're trying to defend it because you're trying to make it look like that trade for Michael Parsons was legitimate. And I went on your website. When you said it, I said, you're wrong, Skip. You're wrong. That trade is going to hurt you. And other people chimed in and was like, well, he wasn't doing this and he wasn't doing that. Well, what do he look like now? Green Bay just lost. Don't get me wrong. They've had some little mess ups. But think about it like this. They only lost 2 games. One, they fell asleep with the Browns. I'd have fell asleep with the Browns. I mean, anybody would do that. It's the Browns. You don't think they're going to actually play football, do you? and then yesterday, other than that, Green Bay has been winning all their games. Dallas is not. Now, if you go back and you look last week, and I can't remember which video, so you should watch them all till you find it. But you go back last week and you see where I said you gotta know there's a cliff coming. You have to know it. Dak came out and played lights out. That's the Dak that he shows you in flashes. That's not the consistent Dak. See, what people don't remember, because everybody that's a fan got a short memory. What people don't remember is, remember Dak's second season when he was trying to beat out Tony Romo? And he took the Cowboys all the way to the championship game because they was this number 1 seed, ran into Green Bay, and he actually did a really good job. The defense let him down because they had a 4th and 25, and they played prevent, which I think is the dumbest defense there ever was made. That's the dumbest defense ever. You spent 4 quarters stopping a team. Now, there ain't but a few seconds left, and you tell everybody, go back by the end zone and just let them get everything in front of you and think you ain't going to get beat. But I digress. So, they got beat. After they got beat, what did they do the next year? They lost in the first round to the Seattle Seahawks. I know, because I was at the games. I was at both of them. So, what did they do after that? Nothing for the next 5. They went to the playoffs 3 times with him. They went to the playoffs 3 times with Tony Romo. Over 30 years, you've seen the playoffs a couple times. You haven't smelled the Super Bowl or the championship game but once. And they still talking about them as if they've been winning the whole time. That is what you call a delusional Cowboys fan. And I can see it. And if I was a real Cowboys fan, I couldn't see it. I'd be like them, delusional. But seeing it from where I'm seeing it, I'm watching the pain in Skip Bayless's eyes and how he goes through. You know when somebody, you know how a guy is in love with a girl, and so she does something, and the friends all know. We like, yeah, well, you're done with that. I mean, you got to be done with that. Yeah. And you ask him, and he says, no, I think she's just, because I really feel like it's partly my fault because and the guys be thinking, yeah, you're done. You're done. You can't see shit because you're dumb. You're blind. You're in love. That's Skip. That's Cowboy fans. That's the only reason why they follow him this long. They can't see that they underperforming on a regular. Underperforming. All they do is give an excuse why they underperform. I'm like their owner. Don't lose no sleep over it. Don't lose no sleep over it. This shit is good. I'm an actual Cowboy fan, or not a real fan, but I've been following the Cowboys since I was little. That was the second team that I recognized when I was little because I started playing football when I was 5. So the first team was the Chiefs. I recognized the Chiefs. But I settled on the Cowboys because that was the biggest thing back then. So, I had to make this video because I could not pass this up. Seeing the pain and anguish in his eyes and his voice and watching him go over play by play. The score is 27-17. Okay? First downs, drop passes, sacks, none of that shit matters now. It's 27-17. The game's over. It's like the girl told me one time, I missed out on something. I wasn't all there. And she said something, and I said, oh, you mean that? And she was like, you still out there waiting on the pass, and the game been over. That's the worst insult I ever got. But because nobody's going to challenge me on thinking. But that was pretty good. I give it to her. I've been thinking about other people like that ever since. Skip is still waiting on a pass. Game been over. It's 27-17. None of that crap you talking about matters. But, it matters to you, and I get it. And it might matter, you might go down to Dallas and see Cowboy fans sitting around at the bar going, yeah, if he just threw a pass, or if he just completed that, or if he just caught that, or if they'd just got a sack. Man, when the game is over, it's over. If he would have, no, you got to talk about the next game, because that game is done. And if you didn't win it, there's nothing to talk about. The only people need to know about the loss is the players, so they can prepare to not make the mistakes for the next game. That's just how it is. So, I know I can't be considered a real Cowboys fan because they're like diehard, and no matter what the Cowboys do, they kind of see it play by play and all this other crap. I told you I watch excellence. I don't watch mediocre, and I don't watch losers. I'm just sorry. I'm not a fan of anyone. So, quick story. I'm in DC hanging out with the family, not my family, my ex's family, and we hanging out and stuff. Now I go to run to the store. So I go to a Wawa. So everybody in that area know what a Wawa is. Every region has their own gas station kind of thing. So I go in there to grab something real quick. I go in there and I'm walking around, I don't really reach out to strangers or nothing. I'm just kind of to myself. So I go up to the counter, put my stuff on the counter, and the cashier looks at me and go, the nerve? Really? And then everybody stops in the store and he looks around and go, you see this guy? I mean, really? So I'm like, what's wrong with him? And it was at that point I realized I had got a Dallas Cowboy hat for my birthday. Somebody gifted me my ex-wife. She gifted me a Dallas Cowboy hat for my birthday. I didn't know I had it on, and I was in D.C., which no one would ever do that in their right mind. And then at that moment, it got quiet. Everybody looked, and then everybody just started laughing. It was just funny because they knew, he can't be a real Dallas Cowboy fan because he wouldn't have done that. Because there was a time when you would never wear a Cowboys gear into Washington. That would never happen. You could do it in Philadelphia in some parts, but you weren't going to do that in Washington, D.C. Yeah, that was not a good idea. But I thought that was fun. I thought it was funny. We laughed. I laughed all the way back to the house because I was like, well, what a bonehead idea. I didn't think about it, because I don't usually wear fan gear. But anyway, Dallas lost another one. If you go back and look at the video, I said it. There's going to be a cliff. They lost last week. They lost this week. They won 2 games, and now they gave those 2 games back. It's going to be a cliff. This is the same show. It's been going on for 30 years. And for some reason, Skip thinks there's a change in there somewhere. People with addictions have this same problem. And maybe he's addicted to the Cowboys. He can say he's more of a fan than I am. Although I can tell you everything about the Cowboys. Every game, every year they won, statistics, who was their stars, who's in the Hall of Fame. I can tell you all that. But not from a fan perspective. It's from watching excellence. And I tell you what, when the years in the late 80s, when the Cowboys went 1-15, 3-13. No, it was 3-11. They had some really bad years. 3 years in a row. 87, 8, 89. No, 88, 89, 90. Because I think the 90 season was the season they went 1-15. It was the 89 it was the 89 season they went 1-15. But either way, that was 3 years. Emerson Walls won the Defensive Player of the Year for leading the league in interceptions. See? How many Cowboy fans knew that? There's some, I'm sure. But a lot of people don't know that. I told you, I was a Cowboy fan. But I know how to step back and go, wait a minute, what we watching? Because I know what real Cowboys look like. The real Dallas Cowboys, I know what they look like. This is the Al Davis Cowboys. Remember, when Al Davis started saying, just win, baby, that was it for them. They ain't won nothing since. And now, I don't know what the quote is for Jerry Jones, but he might as well say, just win, baby, because he ain't done nothing in 30 years. But he's went from what, $7-8 billion to $15 billion. It's funny how these leagues and these teams in the NFL, the more they lose, the more money they become worth. Somebody needs to look into that. There's got to be something to that, because other teams that's winning is not growing at that level. Hell, the Patriots won 6-7 Super Bowls. I think that owner's worth $6-7 billion. Jerry Jones was worth 10, and now he's worth 15. And I bet you that owner ain't worth no more than 7-8. So there's something to be said about losing in the NFL. Okay, this video was longer than I wanted it to be, but I was enjoying this. I'm looking at Skip now, and I'm like, yeah, this is delight. And I don't even dislike Skip. I like him. I like Skip. I like a lot of the sports personalities. But I happen to know a lot of what they know. I'm just not on ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I know a lot of what they know. That said, that's all I have for today. Now you got a video for today, and I'm saying today, but I did it right after the game, but you're going to see it tomorrow. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday when I come back and do Mixed Bag. I'll have a lot to talk about. It ain't gonna be a long video though. So thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? You know where I need you. Until next time, take care.
DiMercato hits his way right up the gut, hits the chest, and he's checked down at the 15.